Donald Trump reignited his calls for Canada to become the 51st state to avoid the threat of tariffs. During his first major address to world leaders at the Davos Economic Forum, in fact, he mentioned Canada a lot. Trump saying we are difficult to deal with, that the U.S. doesn't need us for cars, lumber, oil, or gas. And he threw in the ask for all members of the NATO alliance to significantly increase defense spending to 5% of GDP from the current 2%. CTV's Judy Trinh has a lot to unpack. Okay, Judy, where would you like to begin?
This is Donald Trump once again using aggressive negotiating tactics.
Hello.
Appearing virtually at the World Economic Forum, President Donald Trump once again complained about importing more from Canada than it exported.
We don't need them to make our cars, and they make a lot of them. We don't need their lumber because we have our own forests, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need their oil and gas.
The trade war hasn't started yet, but 25% tariffs could be imposed as soon as February 1st.
One goal, not to figure out how to manage these tariffs and live with them over the long term, but to figure out how to get them removed as quickly as possible.
Part of that strategy also includes reaching the NATO 2% target during Trump's term instead of the 2032 timeline the government previously set.
We think that because of the investments that we're going to have to make over the next 4 or 5 years in national defense, it is going to give us an opportunity to do business with Americans where it makes sense for Canadians.
We could bring in capabilities and the spending earlier. Why? Because the longer we wait, the less we can get for the same amount of money.
But Trump is moving the bar again, demanding a new NATO spending target.
I'm also going to ask all NATO nations to increase defense spending to 5% of GDP, which is what it should have been years ago.
Not one of NATO's 32 members are even close to that number. The biggest contributor, Poland, is at 4.1%. The U.S. is approximately at 3.4%. Canada is spending 1.37% of its GDP, which equals $41 billion a year. Getting to Trump's target would require increasing that to $150 billion annually. Canada's inability to meet its military obligations to NATO has been a trade irritant with the U.S. for years. Now it's a gaping wound that makes us vulnerable in a trade war with the Americans. Sandy.
Okay, CTV's Judy Trinh.